one on top of the other. And then just for a moment, letting your eyes close down. So you take a moment to settle into your own body. Just letting go of any outside noise or input. Just tuning into your body, maybe taking a little sigh out through the mouth. So we'll take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale out through the mouth. One more time, a deep breath in. And then exhale out through the mouth. Just keeping your eyes closed for a little bit longer. We'll just find some conscious breaths. So when you're ready, just gently inhaling into your belly, into your chest, into your rib cage. And then exhaling out through the nose, letting the chest fall, your rib cage, belly. And again, inhaling, letting your belly expand, your rib cage at the back and the front, all the way up to your chest. And then exhaling gently, letting the chest fall, your rib cage, your belly. Just one more time like that, gently into the belly, into the rib cage, all the way up into your heart space, your chest. And then exhaling, softening your chest, softening your rib cage, softening your belly. And just letting your breath be natural. And then just very gently, you can let your eyes just kind of flutter a little bit open, just looking down at the space in front of you. You can keep them closed if you want to. We're going to inhale and bring the chest forwards. We're doing a little cat-cow seated. Inhale, bring the chest forwards. And then exhale, scooping around your belly. Tuck the chin in, draw the belly back. Just moving the spine, breathing in, opening up the chest. Breathing out, scooping the belly, rounding the spine. Just do this a few more times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, and if you want to go a little faster, you can do that. Breathing out, scooping the belly, rounding. Breathing in, opening up. Breathing out, scooping the belly and rounding. And then breathing in, just come back to a neutral space. Bring your left hand down. And then inhale your right arm up over your head. Walk your left hand away. Try to keep your right sit bone down. And reach over to the left side. See if you can soften your shoulders. So just keep nice and gentle. And then maybe look down towards your left hand. Let your neck be a little bit softer. And then inhale, reach your right arm up and sprinkle your right fingertips down to the side. Reach your left arm up and over, and then just land back into your seat. Walk your right hand over and reach over to the left side. And then take one of those full breaths. And again, you can just look down to your right hand. Keep dropping your left sit bone down. Rolling your bottom shoulder forward. So just feeling into that left side. And then breathing in, reach your left arm back up and reach your right arm up to join your left arm. And interlock your fingers and turn your palms up and scrunch your shoulders up towards your ears. Lift up through the waist and then exhale, drop the shoulders and just gently bring your fingertips down in front of you. So your wrists come under your shoulders and knees underneath your hips, and just find yourself on all fours. So wrists under shoulders, knees underneath hips. And then just take a few moments to find a few kind of squiggly movements. So just moving your spine in whatever way feels comfortable, getting yourself a stretch in any direction that feels good. You're kind of using your breath to comb through your body, letting your head and your neck be a part of the movement. And then just bring yourself back to a neutral eventually, wrists and shoulders again, knees underneath hips. We'll find a gentle inhale to just gently slide the rib cage forward, shoulders back, tailbone tilts up, coming into the cat-cow again. And then exhaling, scooping the belly, rounding the spine, tucking the chin in, letting the upper back open up. Breathing in and rib cage comes forwards, tailbone reaches up, shoulders open up. Breathing out, scoop the belly, rounding the spine, tucking the chin in. And then coming back to a neutral. And then keep lifting the front of your body to the back of your body so you find that support from your core. You're going to tuck your toes under and just gently shift your hips back towards your heels. So you let your chest come forwards and you're stretching out the front of your body. And then scoop the tailbone, roll yourself forward so your shoulders come over your wrists, and then tilt the tailbone up to gently send your hips up to a downward facing dog. And then once you're there, maybe you want to walk your feet out, bend one knee at a time. Just walk up the back of the legs. And then let the feet find some stillness, let your feet or your legs find some stillness, and just take a few breaths into the shape, lifting the tailbone up and back. And then we'll just slowly, gently lift the right leg up. So shift your weight to your left leg, lift your right leg up, and bend your right knee, and just find a little circle in one direction with that right knee toward your right hip socket. And then circle your right leg in the other direction. And then inhale, reach that right leg long again. And exhale, slowly float that right leg back down. So you come back into a downward facing dog. And then take an inhale, lift your heels up, draw up through your thighs, scoop your tailbone, round yourself forward so you're in a rounded high plank. Lower your knees to the ground. And then tilt your tailbone back and send your heart forwards as you bring your hips towards your heels. And let the shoulders soften and the back of the neck relax. Spread your fingers, and then scoop your tailbone and then round forward so you bring your shoulders back over your wrists, tuck your chin in. And feel that roundness in your upper back. And then begin to tilt your tailbone back up so you come back into this downward facing dog again. And then take a breath here. See if you can spiral your triceps down towards the ground. Shift to your right leg, and you're going to inhale your left leg up now. Bend your left knee, and then begin to circle your left knee in your left hip socket, circling one way, and then circle the other way. Inhale, lengthen that left leg again, nice and long. Exhale, slowly float the left leg back down towards the ground. From here, lift up onto the heels, or the toes rather, lifting the heels, draw up through the thighs, scoop your belly, and round yourself forward, rounded high plank again. Lift the front of the body to the back of the body, and then lower your knees. Tilt the tailbone up, and then send your hips back towards your heels. And then this time, walk your hands a little bit forwards. So you bring your chest a little closer towards the ground, towards the earth. Stretching out the shoulders. Just take a breath here, maybe resting your chin, maybe resting your forehead on the mat. And just take a full breath into the length of your spine, into the sides of your waist. And then slowly, just lifting the chest away from the floor, begin to walk your hands one at a time back towards your knees. Keep your toes tucked under and shift your hips back onto your heels. Inhale and bring your arms up over your head. And again, interlock your fingers, lift slightly your hips away from your heels, drawing up through the inner thighs. Let your shoulders shrug up towards your ears, stretching the side of your waist, and then exhale and release. And bring your fingertips or your hands behind you, interlocking your fingers, dropping your shoulders. Breathing in, untuck your toes if you need to. Stretch your arms back to open up the front of your chest. Just drop the shoulders for a moment. Allow your ribcage to soften. Let the front of your chest open up a little bit. And then release your hands. Take an inhale and bring your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, stretching your hands forward, slowly land your wrist or your hands down in front of you, wrists under shoulders, knees underneath hips, lifting your belly and your front body towards your back body. Keep the toes tucked under and we'll lift the hips and float them back up into this downward facing dog. Then we'll shift the weight to the left foot and slowly inhale your right leg up behind you again. Then the right knee, and just circle that right knee in your right hip in one direction. Circling it the other way. Then inhale to extend that right leg again, squaring your hips. Find length through your hands, through your toes. Keep drawing your hip back into your torso, so everything's drawing into your center, even though you're expanding. Take another breath in, and as you breathe out, draw your right knee up towards your nose, tapping your knee to your nose, and then step your right foot next to your right hand. Then let your back knee lower down and lift and open your chest a little. Keeping your back toes tucked under, and inhale and just gently roll yourself up so you come into a low lunge, lifting your arms up over your head, dropping your shoulders back into your torso. And then we'll inhale and lift the hips, let the front toes lift, keep the fingertips reaching forwards as you bow a little bit over your front leg. Just feel the stretch in the front of that back leg. Take a breath in here, and then gently shift the weight back forwards. Reach up through your fingertips, feel the length in the waist. And then one more time, lifting the hips up, sending the tailbone back, reaching the fingertips forwards. Drawing up through the lower belly. Then inhale, shift forwards. And then either bring your fingertips down to the ground or see if you can float your back knee off the ground and just come into a standing lunge. Beautiful. Shifting that left hip forwards, drop the shoulders again. Inhale and lift through both legs. So you draw the front hip forwards and the front hip back and the back hip forwards, the left hip forwards. And then bend your back knee again so you come back into this lunge, dropping the shoulders. Try to lift and open your chest just one little bit more. And then bring your fingertips down either side of your front foot. Beautiful. And then we're going to step that back leg a little closer in. And you're going to bend your back knee and place your back foot down. So just place your back knee down and come to sit back onto your hips. You're going to take your right leg and cross your right leg over your left knee. So you're kind of like getting ready for almost like a twist. And then you can slide your left shin a little bit forwards. And then we're going to lift that right leg. And we're going to bring that right leg behind you, keeping it hovering off the floor, and kind of bow over your front thigh. So you can try and do this without your hands. And I'm going to inhale and bring that right leg back round to cross over the left. And then bowing over that front leg. Beautiful.
And inhaling, and we'll just do this a few more times. So we're warming up the core, bringing that right leg over, and then bowing over that front leg. Beautiful, a couple more times. Inhaling, bring that right leg, crossing over the front left leg, and then right leg comes back. And then you're going to see if you can bring that right leg all the way around, crossing over your left leg, your left knee. Roll over that left shin and see if you can bring yourself up to standing. Float your left knee up, bring your arms up towards the sky. And then reversing that. So slowly lowering down, placing your left foot, your left shin, your left knee, bringing your hips back down, and then swinging your right leg behind you. Bowing over your front foot, swing that right leg round, step the right foot down, and lifting up. And slowly drawing your left knee in and up, so just make sure your knees feel fine with this. Let's try that a couple more times, nice and slow, placing the left foot down, shin, ankle, knee, hips, swinging that right leg round. How's this going? And then swinging your right leg forwards. You need to use that lift. And then bring the left knee up. Let's do that one more time. Lowering that left foot down, knee, hips, swinging that right leg round and back. And then just pause there for a moment, keeping that right knee lifted. And breathing here, holding, just finding the core. And so the core, we mean like the whole body. And then swinging that right leg back around, stepping it forwards, and then lifting back up, lifting that left knee up towards your chest. And then see if you can lengthen your left leg forwards. So lengthening your left leg forwards, and then just gently swinging that left leg down towards the ground, come into a warrior three. Lift the back leg up towards the sky, maybe bringing your hands to your heart. Just finding warrior three for a moment. Breathing here, lifting the chest. And slowly lifting that chest back up. We're going to come back down to the ground. So place your left foot, ankle, knee, bringing your hips down. And we're going to swing that right leg back behind you. And this time you're just going to place your hands down and roll over that left knee and just come back onto all fours. So crawl your way back to all fours. Tuck your toes under and float your hips back up to a downward facing dog. And then just take a moment, take a breath here. Spiraling your triceps down. And we're going to inhale, then float the left leg up behind you. Bend your left knee and just begin to circle your left knee in one direction. And circle your left knee in the other direction. And then inhale, lengthen that left leg long now. Take a breath into this shape. And then breathe out, bring your left knee towards your nose. Try to tap beneath your nose. Step your left foot next to your left hand. And gently lower your back knee down onto the ground. Lift and open your chest. Let your shoulders soften. And then inhale and roll yourself up to come into this lunge again. Reaching your arms up over your head, softening your shoulders. And then we'll inhale and lift the hips up, lift the front toes, send the heart forward, and the tailbone back to just bow over your front leg, keeping that length through the spine. And then gently shift the hips forwards and down, opening up through the chest. As you inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting the hips, lifting the front toes. Reaching the fingertips and the heart forwards to bow over that front leg. This time, inhale, shift the weight forwards. Keep that lift through the pelvic floor, the lower belly. Maybe lift that back knee to come into a lunge again. Soft in the back knee. And then bend the knees. Inhale, straighten both legs to draw up through your center. And exhale, bend the back knee. Soften the shoulders, finding your lunge, lifting up through your center, and then bring your fingertips down either side of your front foot. And again, step your back leg slightly closer in. And you're just going to bend that back knee, place the back foot, then shin, then ankle down, and then sit back onto your hips. And again, you'll bring this left knee in front of the right. Sitting up nice and tall, as if you're about to go into that twist again, and slide your right shin a little bit forwards. And we're going to lift that left leg again, swing it round, and just bow over your front thigh. Try to keep that back leg lifted, so your left leg lifted. And then inhale, bringing that left foot down and forwards. And then swinging the leg round, bowing over that front knee. And slowly bring that leg round to cross over your front foot. And inhale, bowing over that front knee. And exhale, swinging it back round. And then one more time, we'll bring that left leg back. And then swing the left leg round, step it over and across your right knee, shifting the weight forwards to roll over that left shin, and then slowly come up to standing and bring your knee up towards your chest, arms up over your head. And then slowly lowering that right leg down, ankle, shin, knee, hips come down, and swinging that left leg back around to bow over your front leg. And do that a couple more times, so swinging that left leg around, stepping it forwards, and drawing the right knee, coming into a light bulb up towards your chest, slowly and gently melting back down towards the floor, hovering that left leg, waking up pelvic floor, lower belly, glutes, lifting up that front knee. Let's do that one more time. Bringing that left leg around. This time, just hold it there for a moment. Keep that back knee lifted off the ground. And then swing your left leg back around. Step your foot down and raise yourself up to standing, lifting that right knee up towards your chest. Then extend that right leg forwards, seeing if you can stay lifted up over your hips. And then sweeping your right leg back behind you, seeing if you can find for a moment your warrior three, letting your standing leg be nice and wobbly, lowering that right hip, extend a little more through your right leg, breathing here, lifting the chest, and then slowly lifting the chest to bring your right leg, ankle, shin, knee back to the ground to come back to sitting, and then just swing that left leg back around and roll yourself over your shins to come back onto your hands and your knees. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the lower belly, float the hips once more into a downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers, reaching the crown of the head down towards the earth, tailbone up towards the sky. From here, inhale, lift the heels, lift the heels, draw up through the thighs, scoop the belly, roll yourself into a really rounded high plank. And then keep the hips lifted and spiral your heels to the right side. So you spiral your heels to the right side, keep your left heel on the ground, and then see if you can lift your right leg up off the ground and just slide your right leg in front of you and maybe lift the top arm. So do something like this. Turn around. Beautiful. Keep reaching up through that top hand. And then either just stay here, keep lifting the hips, make sure your arm feels okay with this, or see if you can lift that bottom leg up away from the ground and then slowly bring it down. We'll just do that 2 more times. Maybe it doesn't happen. Lift it up and slowly down. And one more time, lifting it. Nice, and lower, beautiful. And then slowly spiral back around, bring your hand back to the ground and bring yourself back to a plank. Lower your knees. And then just untuck your toes and your hips back towards your heels. Take a little break for your arms, your wrists. Just make sure when you're doing this, your shoulders feel okay. You need to make some adjustments if they're feeling like there's too much pressure on them. And then scoop the tailbone, roll yourself forwards. Come back onto your hands and your knees. Toes tuck under, tilt the tailbone up. Back to this downward facing dog. And again, we'll lift the heels, draw up through the thighs, scoop the belly, roll forwards, really rounded high plank. Then we'll pivot the heels to the left side. Bring the sole of the right foot to the ground. Lift and bend your left knee. And then send your left foot forwards and your right hand up towards the sky. So either stay here or see if you can inhale and lift your left leg up and lower it down. Just 2 more times. Inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale and lower. Once more, inhale, lift, nice, and lower. Beautiful. Then gently spiral around, place your right hand back down, bend the left knee, step it back to a plank. Lower your knees. And untuck your toes. Hips back to heels. And just find a gentle child's pose, letting your head rest on the ground, taking a moment. And then do an inhale, scoop the belly, round yourself forwards onto your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes under, tilt the tailbone up, come back into your downward facing dog. Shift your weight to your left foot. Inhale, your right leg comes up behind you. Exhale, knee comes towards your nose, hugging everything up towards your front body. Step your right foot gently down next to your right hand. Hug your inner thighs together. Scoop the tailbone and roll up to come into a high lunge. Lift your arms up towards the sky and keep hugging that right hip back and your left hip forwards. Bend your back knee so you sink your hips a little and tilt the tailbone just a little. And then lifting the hips up, lower your back heel down so you pivot round. And then just maybe you need to heel toe your front heel so the heel is in line with the center of your back arch. I'm just going to turn to face you. So you're in something like a warrior two. Then we'll inhale and extend both legs, bring your arms up over your head. And then exhale, bend the front knee, come back into this warrior two. And then see if you can lift and spread all of your toes and then place them back down. And then just gently open that front knee a little more. Bring your back hand down to your back thigh. Turn your front palm forwards and just open up the front of your body into a gentle reverse warrior. And then extending your arms again. Extending both legs. And we'll heel toe that back leg in a little closer. So front toes facing forwards, back foot in 45 degrees, soften your shoulders. Take an inhale here and let both knees be a little soft. And then exhale to reach through your front fingertips and fold or extend into a triangle over that front leg. And then slowly you can bring your ribs around, just spiral up through that top arm. And then keep drawing your bottom hip forwards in your top hip opening. And then just find a place where your neck feels comfortable. And breathe into that side of your body. And then inhale and float yourself back up to standing. And we'll just simply spiral the back arm forwards and lift up onto the back heel. So you come back into a lunge, dropping the shoulders. And then from here, bring your hands through your center. See if you can float your chest forwards and come back into your warrior three. letting the back leg float off the ground, feeling the wobbles in your standing leg, extending through the crown of the head, through the toes, drawing into your center. And then we'll keep grounding through that standing leg, see if we can float this left knee all the way up towards you and raise your arms up to the sky. So coming back into this position, maybe extending that left leg back in front of you. So reaching that left leg forwards and bending your left knee and extending it back. We'll come back into this warrior three. And then from here, we'll see if we can come back through that position we were in before. So slowly lowering to the ground by placing the sole of the foot, not the sole of the foot, the back, the front of the foot, the ankle, the knee, and then the hips to the ground. So you come to sit back on your hips and then cross your right leg over your left knee. So you come into that twist position. And then we will come into a twist. So you're gonna hug your right knee in, lift up through the lower belly, lift up through the lower back. You might want to bring your right hand behind you just to find a little support through your spine. And then think about, as you're breathing in, lifting up through that lower part of your spine, through up to the crown of your head. And as you're breathing out, maybe there's a little space to spiral your ribcage round. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can bring that left hand to cross over your right knee. And then just take a few moments to breathe into this twist. Maybe seeing if you can lengthen your breath a little. Maybe counting your inhale and counting your exhale. And then slowly spiraling back around. You're going to bring your hands to the side, to the left side, lift that right leg up, and we're going to spiral that right leg back around. And then again, just simply bring your hands in front of you, roll over your shins, and step yourself back onto all fours. So finding your all fours, tuck your toes under, lift the lower belly and float your hips up to a downward facing dog. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, spread your toes, and we'll inhale and float the left leg up behind you. And then as you exhale, draw your left knee up towards your nose, try to tuck your knee to your nose, hug your heel into your glute, really round your upper back, step your left foot next to your left hand, and then hug everything up towards your center to inhale and float yourself up into a nice high lunge, dropping the shoulders, bending the back knee to sink into it a little deeper, maybe extending that back leg, keeping your back heel over your back big toe mound. And then we'll inhale and lift the hips and pivot on the back foot and come into a warrior two on the other side. Again, you can heel to your front foot forward so the heel is through the center of the back arch. And we'll inhale to lengthen the legs, lift the arms up over your head, and then bend the front knee, sink back into your warrior two. Then place your left hand down onto the back leg, turn your front palm forwards, it's your left hand that's forwards, and reach your left arm up and over, so you come into a nice gentle reverse warrior, keeping that front knee open. Keep your hips nice and low. And then inhale and float back into this warrior two, keeping that front knee bent. Hold it there for a moment. And then inhale, straighten both legs and heel toe that back foot a little closer in. Turn your front heel out and your front toes in. Sorry, your back heel out and your back toes in. And then we'll take an inhale here, let the knees be a little soft. And exhale and hinge at your hips, reach your front arm forwards and come into your warrior, your triangle pose on this side. So letting the knees be a little soft means that you can open your front knee. And then you can begin to lengthen the legs once you've found the right space for them, letting your chest spiral open, feeling that stretch on your top side of your body, and finding the right place for your neck. And if it feels good, you can reach that top arm always up and over towards the front of the room to add an extra little stretch through the side of your body. So just giving yourself space to move inside the shape. And then just for one moment, see if you can lengthen your breath again. So a full breath in, and sometimes it helps to count the breath, sometimes it doesn't. But just seeing if you can take that one conscious breath. And then inhale, float yourself back up to standing and sweep your left arm forwards, or your right arm rather, come back into your lunge, dropping the shoulders. And again, we'll send the heart forwards, bringing your hands to your center, let the back foot float up and come back into your warrior three. Heart reaching forward, spread your toes and keep standing through that grounding leg, grounding through that standing leg, and draw your right knee back up and forwards. And then maybe extending that front leg again, spreading your toes, reaching your arms up towards the sky, and bending your right knee again, hands coming down towards your heart. And again, we'll come into that sitting position, so placing back of the foot or front of the foot, ankle, knee, and sit your hips down. Cross your left leg over, and we'll come into that twist again. So just make sure you're seated on both sit bones, spiraling out to face or hug your left hip, bring your left arm behind you just to lengthen your spine. And then just take a moment to allow your body to move into this gentle twist. Again, maybe bringing your arm across the front of your left knee. Beautiful. And then again, just taking this opportunity to breathe some conscious breaths. And then slowly spiraling back around, lifting that left leg and sweeping it back around. Again, we'll just roll over the legs and come onto your hands and your knees. And then from here, we're going to bring the toes together and the knees wide, and just take your hips back towards your heels. And just let the hips soften for a moment in the lower back and the chest. And then slowly rolling yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. Bring your knees underneath your hips, or wrists underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under and float your hips up into a downward facing dog. Take one last breath in this shape. And then we'll slowly walk the feet one foot at a time up towards your hands. So exhaling, we're going to fold over the legs, let the head drop. So taking this forward fold. Let the feet be comfortably hip width distance, toes spread, feeling that support of your feet. And then bend the knees, let the tailbone drop and slowly roll up through your spine. Letting your arms and your head dangle, hang towards the ground. Letting the weight of them go, rolling yourself up to standing. Feel the length through the front of your body as you inhale your arms up over your head. And just take a little lift through your chest to open up the front of the body. Tilt the tailbone, opening through the front of the body. And then bend the knees and just sink down through a chair pose. So sending the hips down and back. Bring your hands to your center. And then folding gently over your legs. You're going to shift your weight back into your heels, turn the toes out and the heels out, and sink the hips down towards your heels to come into a squat. Lift the chest And then walk your hands forwards, just rounding your upper back, dropping your head. And then slowly bring your hands back behind you. Just sink your hips down, bring your feet in front of you. Have your feet hip width distance, stretch your arms out in front of you, take a breath in. And then breathe out, scoop your belly and slowly, slowly roll down through your spine. One vertebrae at a time, really slowly if you can. And then just stop halfway, just until you find that place where you can feel your abdominals working. And we'll do some little pulses forwards, breathing out through the mouth, just for 8 counts. So we'll breathe out for 8. And then take a breath in and roll yourself down all the way onto the mat. Stretch your arms up over your head. And then bend your knees and just lift your knees up so they're hovering above your hips. And then we're going to just gently bring the arms back down as you extend your legs diagonally in front of you. And then stretch your arms back over your head. Make sure your lower back feels all right. Bring your knees in. And then extend and bring your arms back. Hopefully that makes sense. Arms come back over your head. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then extend. So keep your legs a little bit higher if you're feeling your lower back. And then bring the knees in, extend the arms back up over your head. And then we'll extend the left leg, draw the right knee in, and you're going to reach over towards your right side. So bring your arms over to your right side. And then bring your left knee in and reach your arms back over your head. And we're going to extend the right leg and lift up and over towards your left side. And then breathing in, come back with the arms. Extend your left leg and reach over to the right. Just do this a couple more times. Try to spread your toes. Reach the arms back up over your head. And then extend the right. Reach over to the left. Bring your arms back. And then bring your hands behind your head and interlock your fingers behind your head and your neck. And keep hugging your knees in. Lift your head. Let your head be supported by your knee, by your hands. And bring your chest towards your knees. And then extend your legs, let your head lower down. Let's do that 3 more times. Knees come in, lift your chest, support your head with your hands, extend the legs, keep them high if you need to. Knees come in, lift the chest, little crunch in. For 2 more times, extending, so just waking up that core. And then knees in, lift the head and the chest. 1 more time, extending. And knees come in. And then lower your head, hug your knees in. Just do a little roll side to side. The back of the neck, soften, let go of any tension or any effort. Place your feet down onto the ground. And just press your thighs away from you so you lengthen out the front of your body. You feel that space in your hips. So just using your hands to press the thighs away. And then release your hands. We're going to come into a little bit of a front body opening. So spreading the toes, taking a gentle breath in, slowly floating your hips up towards the sky. Using a little bit of your back body, your glutes, maybe bring your hands underneath you, roll your shoulders underneath you, interlock your fingers. And just take a few breaths into the front of your body. And slowly release your hands and roll your hips back down. Just letting your hips land. And then if it feels good, walk your feet a little further away.
Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open to the side. So letting the knees open to the side. And letting the hips open up. Resting your hands maybe on your belly. And then beginning to let any tension, any effort you've been making, just let it begin to melt away. So you're coming into that kind of feeling or quality that you have in Shavasana, so letting go. And then slowly bringing your knees together. And hugging your knees back up towards you. And you're going to let your knees float over to the left. So just come into a gentle twist. Look over to your left hand and just melt into the ground here for a moment. And then knees come back through the center and let them melt over to the other side. So you just twist in the other direction. Letting the belly soften now. And the knees coming back to your center. And just take a moment to hug your knees in, maybe lifting your chest and really squeezing your whole body into a little ball, squeezing, 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 squeezing your face. And then resting, extending your legs out, letting your toes flop to the side, letting your hands rest somewhere that feels comfortable. And just allowing your eyes to close, so coming into your Shavasana. Letting, again, any effort you've been making, just letting it go. Allowing yourself the next couple of minutes just to rest completely. And I'll wake you up when the 2 minutes are up. And then just very slowly, you can stay there a little longer if you want to. Eyes just beginning to gently move your fingertips and your toes. Bending one knee at a time, just rolling gently onto your side. Take a moment to rest on your side. And then slowly press yourself up, sitting and just find a nice comfortable seat, sitting up. Nice tall, long spine. And then just bringing your hands to meet in front of your heart and taking a moment to thank your body, thank yourself for showing up to practice. Just gently closing your practice in the way that feels good to you.